and going into business now with the pendant.
We are open, we are live, we have a whole host of people that have joined us. It's always an honor, everybody. Thank you for coming through on this absolutely magnificent occasion. And there's one huge thank you to Professor Desiree Dubonnet for yet again bringing this most magnificent time crystal device, which he's about to present to us at this unveiling. And really, Desi, you've done it again. And you're amazing. You're absolutely amazing. You're really an unbelievable pioneer in everything you've done. And we are the recipients of such an amazing device. I'm going to hand over to you. We've got videos and I've got a small little presentation at the end as well. Okay. But over to you, Desi.
Well, it's just amazing. Quantum theory has advanced so much to become mainstream, basically, as everybody now is really into quantum. And the last couple of years, quantum entanglement, quantum entwinement has just been accepted universally because it's been proven over and over and over again. Never been disproven. It's always been proven. There is an entanglement, an entwinement of things. So now that is opening the minds, and we start to see that there is a different level. One of the new things that came up was this time crystal. Now, this is relatively new. We're going to talk about maybe the last decade, and it's just now recently been getting some press because the time crystal is a crystal that exists in a different type of time space. Normal crystals make up their crystal in space, 3 dimensions, height, width, breadth. This crystal makes up its shape in space and time. So it changes over time. It actually creates a new type of time around it, kind of a universal. Now we use this shape shifting to get a perpetual form of energy that we're going to then drive our piezo battery. And piezo is the effect that certain crystals have, that when you apply pressure to them, they produce electricity. So our little device is going to have the time crystals in the heart, the piezo crystals, which will start developing the electric, and we drive this energy into a scalar field, a caduceus coil. The caduceus coil is also independent of time. So we have 2 energy waves, and when they are equal but opposite, they cancel each other out. Where did that energy go? Well, we know that energy is pushed into other dimensions. It's pushed away from this time and space into other times and space. And it's kind of the same way that the Hindus and the Buddhists described the chakra. They said that the chakra exists in the human body, but not quite in the human body. They exist more or less next to the human body in a type of dimension, which is pretty much where our scalar field is. So our scalar field produces a sustained scalar. Now, other people have made different types of scalar fields, etc. And they turn on and off. Well, ours is going to be making a perpetual sustained scalar wave, which is going to create a kind of a portal into time and space, as we are now realizing that space-time, what we thought that time was like an arrow going past, to present, to future, no reversal. Now we know that time is not like an arrow, not like a river, it's more like an ocean. It appears like a river because we're in a big current, but actually there are eddies and backwashes and things that turn around. And that when we think about time, this moment, this present, it's not a microsecond, it's not a nanosecond. It actually is kind of like an envelope. And this sustained time crystal, time scalar wave, is going to allow us to expand our moment so that we're going to get more premonitions of the future, and we're going to get more connections to be able to literally change the past. This is what we call retro-causality. So it's going to be very, very interesting. So I'm going to start with I've been talking about the time crystal the last couple of weeks and showing you a lot of videos. Now we're going to show you a video about animals. So we
okay.
can more.
Desi, you don't want us to show the very first video about what actually the time crystal is?
Let's watch the animal video.
Animal first. All right, perfect. So that's the last one that you sent me today.
No, it's the first one I sent you.
The first one, oh yeah, first one that you sent me today. Just hold on, because you've got two accounts. So let me just see where I'm here.
You on this? I sent it to you on the other computer, on the other Skype.
Yeah, you sent it today. All right, I have it.
Right.
And Jane, after the video, we're also going to discuss all the physical effects of the pendant and our own feedbacks and our perception of the pendant and what we felt about it.
Yeah, absolutely, and me too. You know, I've been wearing mine as well.
She's got hers.
And, it's been incredible. And believe you me, guys, I have shopped around the world for these. I've been to Russia. I've been everywhere. And finally, Professor Desiree Dubonnet has produced the most unbelievable device. Okay, this is not something that you think's working. You know it is. So yeah, let's have a look at this. Just a second. I just want to check that it plays the first one. Yeah, there we go.
Recently, there was an apartment complex in Florida that crashed. When they went through the rubble, they found many dead bodies, but no animals, no pets. All the pets that were unrestrained had escaped or left before the accident.
Just a matter of sensing vibrations before earthquakes. Why would this be controversial? I mean, we all agree about vibrations. Seismologists can measure them. I think that these are also part of a body of evidence that suggests there can be influences from the future.
Scientists have speculated that it is vibration, that it is electromagnetic radiation, some type of sense that the animals have. But could it be that this premonition, precognition, could it be because they don't have that verbal area of the brain, that they are better able to see into the future? Could that be responsible for pets' abilities to avoid disasters?
Natural disasters shatter our world. Thousands suffer as lives and property are lost. And we ask ourselves, how could this have been avoided? Is there something we're missing?
The animal factor.
My cats are acting very strangely.
Yes, animals have a peculiar ability to see danger and react. They have some type of instinct. But could that instinct be precognition?
We've all heard about animals in this sixth sense. But is it more than just instinct that gives them a sense of danger?
This documented case of unusual animal behavior prior to an earthquake is recorded by the Roman historian Aelian in 373 BC, 5 days before an earthquake destroyed the city of Helice, once located at the coast of the Corinthian Gulf. Various animals, like rats, weasels, snakes, centipedes and bugs, supposedly emerged from the underground and fled from the city.
Everything is peaceful, apart, that is, from the loud and disturbing noises made by a local inhabitant. The date was December 25th, 2004.
This was the date of the great tsunami. The animals were giving a warning. The animals left. They seemed to know what was going on. The flamingos knew and were able to fly away, as the elephants knew.
We were going along the flat coastal road facing the ocean, but the elephant simply refused to carry on in that direction. It wanted to get off that road. That was the elephant's strong feeling.
These domesticated elephants that always took orders, today did not take orders. They obeyed their own will, their own instinct.
These two elephants, which were shackled, kicked and broke their chains and ran away up the hill.
Many animals that were chained and restrained broke those chains and escaped because their instincts, their precognition told them to.
The Cowlark shoreline was completely destroyed by the tidal wave. More than 700 people were killed here alone. But thanks to the elephants, the tourists who happened to be riding on their backs were safe on high ground, up a hill some 1,000 meters away from the beach.
The honeybee is able to sense when there's bad weather and be able to take refuge. And they seem to have an ability beyond that of science to understand and feel.
The tsunami claimed almost 300,000 human lives. Yet in all the parts of Thailand, Sri Lanka, and other areas destroyed by the tsunami, not a single animal that was free to move lost its life.
Horses are known to act erratic before bad weather, as if they could sense it, and it seems to be beyond just the meteorology, into a type of intuition.
October 2005. Tens of thousands of people die in Pakistan in yet another violent earthquake. Before the quake, birds there had been crying loudly. Dogs had been seen running through the city, barking frantically.
We're finding out more and more scientifically that these animals have magnetic sense. They have other different senses, but also a type of ESP connection into the future.
If we studied the way the animals react and how they react, we'd be in a better position to predict avalanches, as well as earthquakes and tsunamis. But if we don't start with this research, then of course we'll never achieve an effective warning system.
The shark has an extremely sensitive electrosense in his nose, able to sense electrical fields, EMF, etc. But also, there seems to be an ability beyond the present.
People who spend a lot of time with animals often talk about an inexplicable connection between them and humans. Animals can appear to have telepathic skills and are sometimes even able to sense the future.
Bats have even been able to display this type of ESP, extrasensory perception, beyond just that of what we think of in scientific terms of the senses, but a precognition sense. Now, all animals are able to live in the physical world, but they also have sleep cycles where they can go into the inner world, the separate reality. Because when we sleep, and all animals, everybody needs some sleep, so that we can touch that inner world, that deeply inside world. And we also know that this is a yin and a yang, this inner world. Okay? There's a physical world and an inner world. And it's a yin and the yang. There's no place where there's no yin, no place where there's no yang. We find that all animals have to go into that sleep so that they can touch that inner world. And inside the inner world, there's some physical, a tiny bit. And inside our physical world, there's still a little bit of the inner world. And this means that there's a connection. And we now know that time is not really just past to present to future. Time is not like a river, it's more like an ocean. And that there is an ability to perceive into the future. And there is retro-causality into the past. And when we sleep, here we have walruses sleeping. And when we sleep, We're able to see and feel. But these animals do not have the word area of the brain. So they do not have that area of doubt. The word area of the brain is intensely designed to interact with our that physical reality, so that we can be able to get food and find shelter and clothing and a mate in that physical reality. But everything we do, every conscious moment, there is an inner reality in our mind. And that inner reality in our mind, beneath the words, has the ability to connect into the future through precognition, into the future, to be able to see, intuit, and to speculate, and to feel those things, not to understand the words, but to feel those things. So as we are working along with our precognition system and our pendant to build up premonitions, so we can touch and deal with the premonitions. As we learn more about premonitions, we'll start to see more and more about our lives. And we'll start to see that more and more we can be like the animals, and we could build up our premonition abilities. We would be able to develop the techniques of retro-causality, affecting the past, and premonitions, seeing the future, to better shape our lives. We have to learn to be more like the animals and reduce the words. Yeah, amazing. Animals.
Amazing.
300,000 people died in the tsunami, but not one animal. So now animals have the ability to sense through the time and the space-time. And this pendant is going to increase your ability. And next week's lecture will be on just how to use the pendant and how to develop those premonitions more. Okay. So this one we're talking more about the theories behind it. Now, the second video that I sent you today, we can watch that now. And this is going to explain a little bit more about the different areas of the brain and the different areas of the body and how we think and how we're going to be able to use the pendant. Okay? So this is a very educational video. It's going to teach us about the quantum states of our brain.
Perfect. I'm ready.
We are now introducing the piezo time crystal, the scalar orgonite pendant that expands your vision and your influence into the past and future. Let's learn more about how it works.
Time crystals. Yes, they are a real thing. The first macroscopic one was captured on film for the first time earlier this year. The name alone conjures up sci-fi notions. In the cartoon Rick and Morty, the substance is capable of interacting with the flow of time.
You guys, this is crazy. Scientists have created a whole new kind of matter. Yeah, time crystals are here.
Our time crystals, we know they're real, we know they exist, we've actually created them, but what it all means, we're not sure yet.
On Earth are time crystals. The idea was first proposed in 2012 by Nobel laureate Frank Wilczek of MIT. He suggested a type of matter that exhibits a sort of fundamental oscillation over time. So some property of the material goes through a repeating cycle.
We do live in a four-dimensional space-time reality. If crystals can form across the three spatial dimensions, what's to stop them from forming across the time dimension?
These time crystals have properties we have never before seen in other matter.
Time crystals repeat some internal state with constant separations in time.
They are the first non-equilibrium matter ever created.
This seems awfully similar to a perpetual motion machine, something science is pretty sure can't exist here on Earth. It also breaks physical notions of time symmetry and threatens the notion of conservation of energy.
And, unlike in relativity, quantum mechanics treats space and time very differently to each other. Now that we've seen matter settle into discrete lattices in time, just like in regular crystals, perhaps it's a first step in a quantum union of space-time.
But maybe this is a start of the quantum revolution, harnessing the amazing and spooky effects of the quantum world for use in our day-to-day existence. Things like quantum computing, free energy, and yes, even time travel.
Researchers have also remarked that their creation of time crystals is evidence that time symmetry can be broken and that non-equilibrium matter can exist.
So these time crystals, which have broken the fist hold that time, past, present, future, has had, offer us a place that might be able to allow us to affect retro-causality better.
There may be forces at play which we could harness for energy use. This may be the way we tap into the vacuum energy which exists all around us, allowing us to get more energy out of the system than we put in.
The piezoelectric effect is very interesting because it can tell us that if we apply pressure to certain crystals, we can generate an electric current. Also, if there's a current that's applied, it can generate the pressure. So thereby, we have the piezoelectric effect. This is part of the principle of the quartz clock. Now, by utilizing this with time crystals, could we not generate a time crystal that would be able to, through time, affect things and allow for the development of retro-causality? When we look at the history of orgonite, Wilhelm Reich discovered a type of energy. He called it orgon. Chi, prana, other names have also applied. And he found that he could make a substance that could take positive energy and convert it into negative energy. It did work, and he came up with many different types of orgonite. But now, to make a superior quality orgonite, we need to put neg entropy into our loop to make sure that there's a biological life force built in, a life force built into our system. So now we're going to be able to make a super orgonite. We're going to add a prayer wheel. We're going to add neg entropy field, time crystals, all to intensify the scalar effect. And what about the scalar effect? By using a time crystal, piezoelectric crystal, we can make a free energy source of energy that will go into a scalar wave, into a sustained scalar wave outside of time. Because when we take one type of energy and combine it with an equal but opposite energy, these two energy forces combine and they neutralize each other, and this will produce the scalar wave. Now, when we do this, that energy is dissipated. That energy is gone from this set of dimensions, but it's penetrating into time and other dimensions. A sustained scalar wave will be able to produce a little portal, a puncture in that time-space, which will then allow the ability of the person to go beyond. Here's one of our large-scale units that helped us to understand this, and creating a type of portal. Right now, it's not a portal you can jump through. It's a portal you can send messages through. And we now created this scalar event, the scalar orgonite pendant. Because as you are swimming through the ocean of life, swimming and realizing that time, past and future and present, are all part of one. Time is like an ocean. And then we have the ability to communicate past into the future. Because you see, premonitions of the future are real. We can see it, but now we can increase our vision into the future with our little pendant to be able to increase our vision through time and be able to also affect the past. Retro-causality, being able to affect the past. So now, by expanding our set of time with this crystal, this pendant, this time crystal unit, we're going to be able to increase the ability to expand our vision and influence into the past and future, increasing the premonitions, increasing our retro-causality, to be able to make our lives better and to improve our world. Yeah, that's a video I played last week It's a short little thing that gives you a little bit more idea about the time crystals. But the other video is the one I wanted to play. I sent you 2 videos today, and there's another one. But before we get to that video, this scalar field and this time crystal, and it's powered by 2 magnets that are putting pressure that provide the piezoelectric, and the time crystal makes the vibration to do this. It's very interesting. So I got this, and I've been putting it on my chakra. And when I put it on my heart chakra, I am instantly overwhelmed. All of a sudden, I just feel this energy in the ice in it. Oh my gosh. And I had pain in my back, and I put it on my back. Pain was instantly gone. I had a pain in my shoulder. I put it on my shoulder, and the pain is instantly gone.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. And this the scalar field will provide a help to the body with all of the different electromagnetic radiation. We call it electrosmog, that this will help shield the body and will beef up the body's potential. The orgonite inside this system is designed to take negative energy, negative orgone, and convert it into positive orgone. The negative orgone in your room will be converted into positive and then fed into the body through the back of the pendulum.
Okay, my perceptions were the following, that I had 2 major surgeries this summer, and I had a gigantic inflammation on my nose and on my face, but did not really seem to go down and decrease from anything. And we put the pendant on my forehead and on the nasal bone, and it started to shrink like almost immediately. It is amazing. And my focus got a lot better, my memory and my concentration. That was my perception with it.
We had some really interesting experiences. We're doing premonition testing, and the results are very, very promising, but I'm not quite done with that yet. But if I have the second video, now this is 18 minutes, and I might step in after about 15 or 20 minutes but I think this is a very, very good video that will explain more.
Okay, so I have to make sure that I'm on the right. Today,
I can send it to you again.
I think I've got it. Let's just see. I see there are 2 sitting there, and sorry if I played the third one.
That's fine, no big deal. I was going to show the third one, but I wanted to show the...
Okay, I see it here. All right, I'm ready. And then I'm going to share my experiences at the end as well.
Okay. If we want to learn more about premonition, increasing our premonition ability, and our retro-causality, we need to learn more about the brain. In fact, we have more than just one brain in the body.
The British scientists discovered that we have a second brain.
Well, actually, we have 3 brains: your head, your heart, your gut. The head processes words, the heart emotion, the gut, a deep gut feeling. And here, inside that gut, we have the largest network, tens of trillions of gut germs, sitting there helping us to be connected, get a feeling. You see, the second thoughts from the brain, but really it's a gut feeling that comes from the gut. And there's different types of thinking. We talk about divergent and convergent thinking, lateral, non-lateral. But we can see that in the 3 brains, we have a word area in the head, an emotional area in the heart, and a connection, a kind of a gut feeling that connects to the universe inside our gut. Intuition core. And see, inside the gut and the heart is kind of a yes or no, whereas the brain has the ability to try to understand and think and analyze. But sometimes analysis really is not the best way. Sometimes that's a good tool, but a poor master. Seems like maybe that the gut can be used. And see, the heart knows things that the mind can't explain. Here's your brain trying to find things that are worth living by, and the heart, inside there are things worth dying for. You follow your heart, take your brain with you, because the brain's there to help catch you in case there's mistakes so you won't get hurt again. But then inside that gut, we have that gut feeling, that nonverbal connection, not of words. But this is where we really get that deep intuition. And the gut brain is innervated to the nonverbal right hemisphere, the seat of intuition. There's a yin-yang relationship of the physical reality and the inner dream world. Now, both of these are facts. Yes, there is a physical reality that cannot be ignored, but there also is everywhere an inner reality that cannot be ignored, an inner dream world. Now, basically, this inner dream world comes mostly from the right hemisphere, whereas the word and the physical reality is mostly from the left hemisphere. Now let's look more about the hemispheres of the brain.
Your brain is two brains, two hemispheres, each doing half the work of being you. Half your vision goes to each and half your movement directed by each. Right controls left and left controls right. Your two brains coordinate through a wire of nerves, but
this is Bo's left brain. Objective, logical, cold, analytical, aware of patterns, aware of trends. He's efficient. And a prick.
Right brain sees and controls one half, while left brain controls and sees the other. But only left brain can speak. Hello. Because that's where the speech center is located. Right brain without this is mute. In normal brains, this doesn't matter because each half communicates across the wire with the other. But
this is Bo's right brain. Subjective, creative, sensory, aware of feelings, aware of people. He's emotional. And an idiot.
That's your opinion. Just careful with opinion.
The left brain with the words, past, present, future, can confabulate stories to get through life.
Left brain isn't lying, it's just doing what brains do, creating a story that explains its past actions to its current self. Creating reasons for why it does things is just something left brains do. It happens in normal, healthy humans all the time, and if you think about it closely, you know you've done this.
I am the left brain, I am the left brain. I work really hard till my inevitable death brain. You got a job to do, you better do it right. And the right way is with the left brain's might.
There are two of you watching this video, one having a mind equals blown moment and the other mentally rolling its eye at the obviousness of it all. You might not agree and may be arguing right now why it can't be possible, exactly as we would expect talking left brain to do.
I like Oreos and pussy, yep, in that order. And I cried for at least an hour after watching Toy Story 3. Wait, I am the right brain. I have feelings. I'm a little all over the place, but...
Now this yin and yang is mixed in the brain because the physical reality, the inner reality, the left, the right, the words, the intuition, this is all molded into one. But now let's look at how the actual neurons work inside the brain.
If you look inside a cell, you find structural components that are somewhat like the bones within our bodies. The microtubules develop literally a forest inside each cell, which determines the architecture and the structure of the cell.
These microtubules might be responsible for some of the brain's ability to see into the past and future, to act quantically. This might be a real key discovery.
And we think microtubules are perfectly designed to be the cell's onboard computer and process information at the molecular level.
Hameroff and Penrose argue that microtubules allow neurons and the brain as a whole to function as a quantum computer.
But not a binary computer of on and off, a trinary computer of on, off, and maybe. A quantum computer.
So here we have a brain with two hemispheres. Most views of the brain are of a collection of individual neurons. When one neuron fires, it sends a signal to the next neuron at a synapse. That in turn causes that neuron to fire, and that neuron causes another neuron to fire, much like dominoes.
This is the physical reality component of things working in a line, things working in what is called locality. But this is not how the brain really works.
In a conventional computer, signals move around from place to place along traceable paths. But the microscopic components of a quantum computer are connected via a mysterious process called entanglement.
Entanglement implies non-locality, that things can act through a distance. They don't have to be touching or connected. They are entangled, entwined, existing together, sharing information.
Some of us think that quantum processes play an important role in consciousness in the brain. So, for example, if there's neuronal activity here, it may be coupled through quantum non-locality to processes over here. These neurons are connected even though they're spatially separated.
So now we can affect things through space-time. That means through distances, also through time, so that we can travel in our minds, or perhaps even more, through space-time.
Change in the microtubules in one brain cell can affect microtubules in another. But that's not all. Quantum theory claims that every single point in space, even empty space, can contain information.
There's no such thing as noise. It's only information we don't understand. This is the cosmic quality of a quantum universe that we now start to understand. There's a physical reality. There's also a quantum reality.
This means the information in the microtubules can connect and become entangled with the universe outside the brain.
Did you hear that? That's very important. That our brains can communicate outside of the brain and be able to work with time and space. And we're not just bound by the skull, by the cerebrum. We have the universe to play with. Quantum.
Our souls are built from something much more fundamental than neurons. They are constructed from the very fabric of the universe.
But this model, the soul, is more of an energy field, not really completely of inner reality, having some physical reality, but energy field.
I think that consciousness, or its immediate precursor, we'll call it proto-consciousness, has been in the universe all along, perhaps from the Big Bang.
So perhaps this energy field, this quantic energy field, that is us, is the soul, and perhaps it is timeless, perhaps it is immortal, perhaps it has existed and never stops existing. It just changes form through time and space.
All of this recalls the Buddhist and Hindu belief that consciousness is an integral part of the universe, and perhaps it is all there is in the universe.
Consciousness may well be what is comprising the entire universe, and that would free us up in time and space. There's a physical reality, there's also an inner dream world.
If consciousness is a quantum process, it may solve the mystery of what happens during near-death experiences.
Let's say the heart stops beating, the blood stops flowing, the microtubules lose their quantum state. But the quantum information, which is in the microtubules, isn't destroyed. It can't be destroyed. It just distributes and dissipates to the universe at large.
Our soul, our energy field, our quantic energy field, that physical reality, inner dream world, that combining, that complete energy field, is not dependent on time and space. If we free up our minds.
If the patient is resuscitated, revived, this quantum information can go back into the microtubules, and the patient says, I had a near-death experience. I saw a white light, I saw a tunnel, I saw my dead relatives, I maybe even floated out of my body.
As we start to unlock our potential to become more of what we truly can become, we start to find out that the physical reality, the inner dream world, all blends to make us what we are. And that we really do hallucinate our consciousness reality. Our conscious reality is basically formulated by an inner world that interacts with the physical world and makes this construct our reality. So now we can understand the world of the paranormal much more deeper. We start to understand that there is a physical reality, but there's more. And we can reach that 100% if we do it right and focus our minds.
The computer, it's moving.
Our time crystal pendant is designed to help to open up a little window, a scalar field window, a sustained scalar field that opens up a time-space dimension, allowing your mind, your heart, your gut to work better. The hanged man is somebody who now knows to look at his gut and put the gut above the heart and the brain. There's fungus inside this gut. In fact, there's all different types of fungus. And the fungus communicate through a type of process, and plants communicate using fungus as well as animals. And inside the gut, these fungus produce communications into the brain through the vagus nerve. And it's amazing, but we should understand that this mycelial subspace network that's in the gut might help to explain some of our ways of seeing, our intuitions about the fungus that connects us all.
I first proposed in the early 1990s that mycelium is Earth's natural internet. When you look at the mycelium, they're highly branched. And if there's one branch that is broken, then very quickly, because of the nodes of crossing, internet engineers maybe call them hot points, there's alternative pathways for channeling nutrients and information. The mycelium is sentient. It knows that you are there. When you walk across landscapes, it leaps up in the aftermath of your footsteps, trying to grab debris.
Mycelium is the vegetative part of a fungus or fungal network. Basically, it's the webbing inside of a mushroom. What's so fascinating about these webs is that we've seen evidence of information passing through them, from adapting to environments to growing and spreading in patterns that denote intelligence, even sentience. Mycelium has proven to be an incredible building block of life, that there could be a mycelium network across the entire universe, and certain organisms could connect with it and travel to any point in the universe they wanted via quantum entanglement.
Here's an artist's picture of the mycelial network inside a human being. It takes an art form to balance this fungal network to try to make sure that we keep candida and the happy hormones working without it going into the fungus. Jane? There's a little bit more to that video, but we need to, they can watch that at home. You can pass on the link to them. In fact, I'm going to give you now on Skype the entire playlist. It's got, there's about 25 videos about that. Very, very distinctly, I go through all the different parts of the technology to prove that premonitions and orgonite and time crystals and the scalar field, everything is detailed in this set of videos. But to show them all would take about maybe 3 or 4 hours. We don't have that time now.
Well, Desi, you know, you've known and well known for rewriting the textbooks on many, many, many subjects. And, you know, here you've done it again.
Well, that's pretty cool. When the scientists now are showing that these microtubules and their quantic nature can reach out past the body into space-time and not only see things, premonitions, but also affect things, affect things in the past. Now, if there's a major train wreck in the past, we can't really change that train wreck, but there are certain subtle things that we can change.
And what we could also feel that negativity can be transformed into like another positive energy, and it can change our perception of certain things. Like, for example, both of us, we had a sense about we have to get up earlier next morning because we can solve things faster and the whole day will be more, you know, productive. It's like little things that it helps your mind and your body and your consciousness to be really in balance and harmony. It is amazing. We still have to do a lot of testing and studies about it, and we are on it.
But it's very exciting. I'm really really excited in this thing. So tell us some of your experiences, Desi.
So yes, Desi, absolutely. New experience of time, as Rita was just alluding to a little bit earlier. Definitely, there's a marked time-space reality difference. And I'm finding I'm able to stretch the time and do different things and do a lot more than I would normally do. You know, and normally I would be quite breathless trying to do what I wanted to do, but now it's in a more sort of controlled way. Definitely sense the gut-brain axis and connection, which is fantastic. And I've only been wearing this for 2 days now because I wanted to do a complete run on our quantum skier QUEX to get the pineal and the pituitary hypothalamus and get all the neuropeptides and, you know, the gut flora. I wanted to get all those values, which I have, so that in a day or two or a week and in a month, I can also track, you know, using our validated, verified device, improvements, because that is my standard. So what I noticed specifically is it kind of switched the pineal gland on. I definitely felt the positive, or the entropy leaving. It was like a descaling, if I can explain it that way, and just becoming more and more acute and sharp within the pineal, and my connectedness feel very calm. And we've used the word before, powerfully present. And that kind of stability and groundedness is an unbelievable experience.
Yeah, feeling yourself in the now, like
yes,
with body, mind, and spirit. Yeah,
you're in that special square block on the squash court where you can move anywhere in any given direction at any time, and that's honestly the space I'm feeling. I mean, bearing in mind, I've been taking the medicinal mushrooms, the chaga, reishi, cordyceps, lion's mane, etc., for many, many years now, including blue-green algae and pollen and things like that. So, I'm quite acutely aware of superfood, super plant intelligence. This is taking this to the absolute next level. And I found also the sleep was completely different. I was, like you said, Rita, completely refreshed. And, deep dreaming as well, conscious deep dreaming, if I could say that.
Lucid dreaming also. I had several dreams where I could not really see the difference between dream and reality. Like, you remember conversations, you remember laughter, facial mimics, like you're really aware in the dream, like this happened with me now a couple of times.
And both Rita and I have been having some lucid dreaming of a future with the evil ultra rich, that we need to fight these people.
I had a perception that in the same time I am in a different dimension, different space, but I'm the same me, same soul, same energy, but I'm doing in the same time completely different things, fighting battles, good against bad, or I don't know how to say that, but in the same time, in the same body, in the same mind, doing different things in a different dimension. It is very interesting. And the other thing, we were very perceptive and very sensitive towards entities with Desi, because we are both highly empathic and compassionate beings, and I have the mistake to be too open sometimes. And since the pendant arrived into the house, we did not have any entities, and we did not really have any psychic attacks or any.
Yeah, that's true. It's been better.
Yeah.
Well, what we're looking for right now is, in fact, this device, which is going to affect a shift in our body electric, because we all know that no matter where you are on the planet right now, we are being bombarded by negative energies and, a positive entropy, if you put it that way, and non-life forces. So this is, from a time perspective, an unbelievable arrival of something that we can shield ourselves and as you say, Desi, transmute and shift the negative energies into positive energy, higher life force. And the higher our life force, and the more we do that, the more cosmically, morphogenically we are connected to, the less likely these negative forces are going to be able to get to us. So, again, my compliments to you, because this is timeless.
It is. I cut you off at the end of the video, but you should, because I wanted to get to this. But inside the gut, we need fungus.
Yeah.
There's a group of yeast and funguses that live inside our gut, and we need them. And it's this fungus that produces the serotonin, which is our happiness hormone. You see. So when you put this pendant over top of your guts, over your stomach chakra, it has a real profound effect of stabilizing the serotonin hormone and increasing happiness, and then bolstering your gut feeling. So if you, and also because the serotonin, it increases your sense of humor.
Look, Desi, that's true. And also, just to share, this is incredibly powerful. As I said at the beginning, I've traveled the earth looking for something like this. And this is not, it's subtle, but it's also, it's physical, but also, non-physical. And the physical effects are absolutely tangible. You can physically feel the brain waves shifting. You know better than me. You can feel the microtubules connecting, if you want to say it that way, but you can actually feel it.
You can feel in the zone when you are in a game, or when you have to focus at tennis. You are feeling that buzz that you are.
There are other patents on the market that are static. They're a thing. This is actually an electrical device with a battery that will last about 300 years. After 300 years, you got to get a new one.
No,
the power of these magnets will last about 300 years, and basically, it's producing a constant electrical scalar field. That's this sustained scalar field has this ultimate effect of shielding and the organite, the conversion of the negative to the positive, and then this whole thing of broadening your whole bubble of time and space, so that your now is expanded. You're living in the now, and you're living in the zone, but that is expanded now. So, and then as you start to wear and start to learn it, then next week we're going to be teaching you what are the methods. And I'll just start with the major one. I'll give you a little preview of next week, is that you have to understand that all of this works without the verbal part of the brain. Our verbal part of the brain is really into this physical reality and not in contact with the dream states, etc. When we start getting our premonition and our retro-causality, it will not be of extreme words. So we're not going to get word explanations when we get premonitions. We're going to get feelings. We're going to get visions. We're going to get tingles. We're going to get spider sense, spidey sense, these type of things. But it's not going to come to us in verbal explanations. It can, but it usually doesn't do that.
So if I'm getting the understanding as well, we're going to be able to make more informed, intelligent decisions rather than mistakes.
Yep, our gut decisions will definitely go out. And I think that you kind of need to understand, put it on the stomach chakra, see what the effect, put it on the heart chakra, put it on the brow chakra, and then you start to get a feeling of just what this can do. And then how I put it on the pedestal next to the bed. And it's very interesting. The first night I did this, I had this extremely vivid dream of my father and mother coming to a lecture that I was doing. It was so profoundly, it was amazingly lucid. And I've never dreamt about my parents like that, you know, but it was just so.
If I'm understanding you there, you're saying to us, right, you can wear it on the body, so it's going to connect with the physical, closer physical form. But then if you put it a little bit away from you, you're going to go into the different layers of the body, the etheric and the soul. And
I tried sleeping with it, and it was too much for me. I wasn't used to it, and I just was overwhelmed with premonitions coming at me, you know, from
definitely
contact to the universe.
But we definitely had effectiveness with inflammation decreasing, pain relief, and also tooth inflammation. So anywhere on the body where you feel that some adjustment or some healing work is needed, you can put the pendant right there into the physical
healing effect
space.
is incredible.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be even more amazing. So we're talking about an individual level. Now, I mean, us three work together and the group gets bigger and bigger. Imagine the collective transformation, the collective premonitions.
After we get our 100 monkeys.
Yes, the 100 monkeys. That's absolutely true.
And actually, the dogs also sense something about it. Even now we are talking about this pendant. Honey, our dog, came into the room as soon as Desi started to turn on the movie with the animals. So they actually sense it very, very powerfully.
Yeah, it's amazing. So
Just wondering if is Andras in the meeting?
I don't know. Is Andras in?
Yeah, I think.
Andras, if you're here, put your hand up and let's bring you in as well. So we are looking for the 100 monkeys, and just while Desi's still here.
Okay, somebody asking the question. Vanessa's asking the question about affecting spiritual sense. Well, this is going to sharpen your spiritual sense and your meditation pursuits dramatically.
And get more awakening and spiritual awareness into everybody's life and consciousness.
At first, when you try it, it can be overwhelming. So just recognize that. Pull back a bit. Use it a little bit here, but gradually, within the course of about a week, you're going to find this incredible connection that's going to be boosted into the universe. And you'll start to feel a sense of the past and the present.
Our following plan is also to test it on the chakras, how it will work on balancing all the chakra points. And we will also try to use it for meditation and focusing more inside.
And Monique's asking if you can turn down the lucid dreaming.
I'll be teaching classes about that. Okay.
All right, perfect.
Sometimes it can be too much. But at any rate, that's for next week. Tune in next week.
Are there any more questions for us to answer right now?
I'm going to run through these slides while we wait for some questions. So we've got
interested in the pendant, and contact Jane.
I'm going to get there. I just thought I'd put a scalar wave up for people to understand that it's not linear, and the scalar wave is a circular wave, and it's got a vortex in the middle.
It's scalar wave is it's independent of time.
Yes.
And it's an amazing thing. So,
and I can actually also feel that now when I started to do an amazing project I mentioned last time about the success and self-development, what includes forgiveness and mantras and anything what you do with the pendant next to you, what I feel it is getting more into the unconscious, is getting more into your mind. And when you wake up, it feels like your mind and your soul restored everything what you have done the day before with the pendant next to you, because it is storing energy, storing all the little gifts what you need for your brain, for your heart. It is hard to explain it verbally. I'm trying, but it is like anything what you do with this next to you, it is like with the machine, it puts it deep into your energetic field and it stays there.
Yeah, it's fortifying a scalar field, a sustained scalar field.
That's it. That's the critical thing, Desi.
Right, because
that's critical.
Scalar fields happen all the time around us, but they're sustained.
Exactly.
Sustained.
When I'm in, I've got a dome-shaped octagon room where it's where my office is, and I'm aware of the scalar wave in the dome, and I'm aware of it connecting with the pineal. Yep. But as you say, the minute you walk out of that room, you're back into a four-cornered, flat-ceilinged room that starts draining you. So this aspect of being a sustained scalar wave is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal.
So it kind of keeps that portal open as you move around.
That was Tiggy.
It keeps the portal open. I think everybody, we need to repeat that. And this is what we're looking for, because we can drive around the corner, we can drive into a mob demonstration or whatever, but we shielded. So that's what we put there, shielding against aberrant negative bioelectric magnetic radiation and other non-life forces. So critical today.
Over all of the 5G and all these other crazy energies that are bombarding us. And this creates a negative orgon around us. And this is going to convert that negative into positive, okay? It won't block the 5G, so it won't stop your telephone.
It will transform the vibrational frequency of it.
But it's going to beef up your body's ability to maintain health.
And I believe that it is highly raising vibration, like if you have some like mood disorder or a little bit of depression or sadness, this can help you to raise vibration and get you into that mental awareness state where you feel better, happier. And I believe, I only believe it might be able to also help to increase the hormones in your body, like connect you with your gut, your brain, and the needed hormones.
This is designed to have a stimulatory effect on the negative entropy. In other words, it will stimulate the life force.
And when you think of the COVID people, and when I think of the readings that we get on the device, their energy is shattered, and the electromagnetic field is low, the adrenal function is low, and wearing something like this is going to as you say, fortify the body electric to protect us, in more ways than one regarding this.
Yep, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, okay. A lot of fun. Let me see what else I put here.
We have some other projects to do. So,
are there any questions, or is anybody interested in anything?
Any other questions for us?
While they write, so what I've put here, Desi, is the human scalar wave torsion field, just to give people a little bit of a physical, diagrammatic idea of the fields.
Yeah, most people don't have that type of a field. It's much weaker. But this little battery should be able to beef up your field. And it's going to increase the diameter. Not just through space, but through time as well. Space-time. Very, very interesting. We're going to have a lot of fun. Next week, I will be teaching people how to use it, what to expect.
Okay? Beautiful. Thank you, Desi. Thank you, Rita.
You're very welcome.
So you folks be good. Write to us if questions.
Yes, we are happy to answer.
Going to be a lot of fun.
And
New world coming.
And I believe if we could also start testing this, we can have great success with super learning, with the NLP, and also with storaging memory and information, maybe increasing language ability, learning skills.
What's going to happen with plants? We should do a little test to see if it helps plants.
Yes, definitely. We can do that.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you. Thank you, Daisy. Thank you, Rita. We're very proud of you. So, those of you who want to place your order, we have opened the site on the 365healthybychoice.com website. That is the only place to place your order and purchase your device, your scalar wave device. And we've got a lot of other options there as well, because I can imagine some of you are thinking, well, maybe I would want one. Other people might be thinking, well, I would like to actually get this out to my community. As a practitioner, I would like to add this to my not my methodologies that I'm using with my patients, my clients. And so there's a whole variety of options available. And also what Desi and I talked about is we formed this on the basis of bringing in karma. And karmic requests, karmic payments, etc., are doing good things, doing nice things, helping people. Because at the end of the day, when we leave the planet in this physical form, you don't take your bank balance with you, but what you do take is your karmic wallet. So we're wanting to also bring this concept and ground the concept. So we're understanding exactly what a karmic request is regarding these devices. So I've put that there again, and we'll talk more about that next week as well. Any questions and information that you want, it's I'll put it on the group here. It's probably best to WhatsApp me. I'm just going to make sure. Yeah, there's the telephone number, the WhatsApp telephone number, and down the bottom where the other little when I write there, this is so amazing. If you click on that, it takes you straight to the pendant site on the website, and you can have a look and do your order straight away. So that part is done. And let me just see what the other question was. Thank you, brilliant. Thank you all. Thank you all. Guys, you are first in the world to hear about this. And I really look forward to massive amounts of sharing and massive amounts of increased life force and our use of premonitions into the future, retro-causality into the past, and this blending of this new time-space concept that Desi has opened our eyes to. And I'll do all of that. So yes, and anything that's poor ancestry having trouble ordering, anything we need to iron out will be ironed out tomorrow morning in any event. But the site's open now, Poran, so you can go and have a look. And yeah, stay tuned. That's what I would say, because, you know, to be walking around with a sustained scalar wave, that's the ultimate. And well, we have it right here in this lifetime. So thank you very much, everybody. It's always an honor and a privilege and fantastic to have you here. And thanks again to Desi for everything she's done for us and for giving us this time and the time crystal. So, Jürgen, there's a whole lot of videos on the physical objective and the mental subjective, and it's got to do with gut brain And if you watch those videos below, you'll find your answers there. Okay, so it's all there. More next week as we continue our training in this new space, and where we have the ability to fortify and strengthen our body electric. And let me just close the slides here. And I'm going to be downloading this and posting it on the Facebooks and on the WhatsApp groups and so on. So very exciting all, especially right now. Okay, we can start reorganizing and repatterning ourselves out of the chaos. Okay, and those of you who caught Rupert Sheldrake in the beginning, he's the researcher that's done a lot on the morphogenic field and quantum. And this is all apart from Desi, and also Fidget Capra. He's done a lot on quantum interconnectedness, interrelatedness, zero-based non-locality, Rudolf Steiner as well, just to mention a few. And there's many others. All right. The videos are in the chat, Annette. I posted the videos in the chat. If you just scroll down, it says video 1, 2, and 3. All right. Okay. See you all next week. Stay tuned. Any questions? info@365healthybychoice.com or on that WhatsApp number. WhatsApp's the best. Okay. Thank you all.